Howdy fellas, back out here working on radioactive, and the shifter cable came in and I'm getting ready to hook it all up. I had to build myself a mounting bracket, and I'm going to have to build another one as well, but this is my first one that I built for the front part. This piece was a door thingy. It went all the way around the top, and when you turn the knob, you know, it takes it out of here and you can open the door. And I got it welded on to this piece of flat steel, and got this piece, and I curved up the corners and stuff to make it look decent, and I'll show you what I'm going to do with it. Alrighty fellas, this is what I've come up with so far. And now I need to run it down there, get it hooked in, and then build another bracket for that piece right there. Trying to figure out where I'm going to mount that. Alrighty fellas, I'll show you the bracket I built for underneath the car. Right there. I used two of the oil pan bolts, came out with a piece of flat bar, and welded that on both sides, and cut a hole in the end. That's an L bracket, and it was super tight to get up in there. I had to give it a little tap and some pushing hard. Finally got it up in there, and I think this shifter will work. I guess we're gonna find out. Well, this is what it looks like in here. I'm letting it warm up for a minute before I try to move it, because this carburetor is just junk. Need to get another carburetor for it. So that's where I'm at right now, letting it warm up. Alright. Let's see here what happens, I guess. Damn, this carburetor is junk. There we go. Yep, shifter's working good. Everything's working on it. So it goes right in park, goes shift all the way down, so we're good. Alrighty fellas, I spent the whole day putting away tools and cleaning up the shop. Had the car pushed out, and threw some cat litter on the ground, squished it in, and swept it out. There, I'll show you. It ain't nothing special, believe me. I guess you already know that, but at least it's cleaner than it was. Got radioactive put back in here, and now that I got a transmission, I got to start working on brakes so I can actually take it for a test drive and check it out. That is the next step, brakes and test drive. Alrighty fellas, back out here in the shop working on the master cylinder. I went ahead and took this one off. I decided not to use it since it's too wide and won't fit between there. And I got this old master cylinder off a 71 Ford Econoline 300 Custom, and I welded a couple bolts on back there, and I'm getting ready to torque it down and then see how I got to run the lines. Alright fellas, I got the master cylinder all bolted on and hooked. However, I'm missing one compression fitting for the rear lines. So I have to wait till tomorrow because it's now dark out and everything's closed, so I can get a compression fitting for the rear brakes. I thought I had got 3 of them, and I only got 2. So I needed 2 for the rear, 1 for the front, to go from this kind of line to the lines that were for that master cylinder. So I got a little brake fluid in there sitting so it doesn't go dry on me. And I guess that's all I'm doing right now. Till tomorrow, but it's all hooked up so far. All right, I officially have brakes on radioactive. They're not good, they're just manual, and the master cylinder is really old, but it's on there. And it does, if I pump it a couple of times and push hard, they need to be bled, they haven't been bled. All I did was crack all the bleeders open and wait for the fluid to start coming out and close it up. And then refill the master cylinder. But I got brakes and I just officially took it for its first test drive ever. And all it really wanted to do was burn out the whole time because the carburetor is a piece of junk. So I couldn't actually drive it normal. And there is this bounce up and down in the front end. And I think I have the tires towed in a little bit too much and I need to tow them out or bring them back out. Let me see this side. I do have them a little bit turned to the right. See this tire right here? Looks like it's turned in. I'm not really sure. That one looks almost straight. Maybe turned a little bit one way or the other. I can't really tell. But this one over here is turned into towards the passenger side. So I don't have the alignment correct, but that may be why it's bouncing up and down. I don't know. But I definitely couldn't race it that way, so I'm gonna have to redo the alignment a little better, try and get it straight. Maybe put a what the heck is it called? Oh man, a level on the across the front of the rim, and see where it's sitting at, and then go compare it to the other one when I have the wheels straight. Because right now I have the wheel already straight inside. Probably can't see it through that dirty window, but that's how I had set it up, just like that. And the left wheel is turned in and the right wheel is pretty much straight. So I think that may be why it's bouncing in the front. But every time I try to take off, it bogs really bad. If I try and give it just a little bit of throttle, it bogs. And this carburetor was originally on a 460 about a year and a half ago, maybe 2 years ago, and it ran beautiful. And I built it out of 2 different Holley carburetors, put them together, and it ran really good, and it was rebuilt at the time. But now, after it sat for like a year and a half on the shelf, and it's on a 302 instead of a 460, stuff isn't set up right for it. So I think I'd rather just get a new carburetor, and I think that's what I'm going to end up doing. Maybe the end of this month, beginning of next. It's looking like at this point that I'm not going to be able to get to race it this year, which really sucks because I really wanted to. Maybe one of the last testing tunes I'll have it done, but it's taken a lot longer than I originally planned, and coming up with the money for each piece that I want to get to put on here. Mainly what I got to do right now is get the front end aligned and see if the bouncing goes away. And if it doesn't, I got to figure out something else with the front suspension. Maybe put a couple coils in there to stiffen it up, because right now there's no coil springs where the coil springs are supposed to be. So I could definitely put some coil springs in there, because right now it just has the shock with no coils at all. So I think that's what I'm gonna do, put some coils in the front and get Lex on. I still got to get these side windows done. Both these side windows and this back window done with some Lex on, and get all the wiring cleaned up and the front end straightened out in the carburetor, and then it should be drivable. And I'd like to test that theory, get it out on pavement and stuff. Right now I've only driven it on my private road, because it's my private road. I only took it for one test drive, just down a little ways, and did a U-turn and came back and just burned out the whole stinking way every time I tried to take off. So I give it a little throttle, it just bogs, but pump it a couple times, it takes off. And a pump may just be bad on the carburetor, or I don't know. I just want to get it from carburetor that's really old. There's nothing wrong with an old carburetor if it's been tuned properly and stuff like that. I just want it to be shiny. Okay, but anyways, and I still haven't put my blinker switch on or my seat belts in yet either. So it ain't like I can actually get on it yet. I think I'm gonna take this year off and on and just really try to get this solid and ready for next year. Because I still got 2 more vehicles to pull in here. I got Frankenstein to pull in here and put some Heim joints on for the front end. And maybe it'll stop breaking the welds and I can take that out and test it. I got a new power steering pump on Frankenstein. So hopefully that'll work, because it sucked with the other one. It had no power steering at all. It would not pump a thing. So I took it off, got a brand new one, paid a lot of money for it. I think that one was like 200 and something bucks or something. It was off the chart, but it's a nice chrome one, put on Frankenstein, matched the rest of the motor, you know. Then I got to get the dune buggy back in here because it pushed out the rear freeze plug on the back of the engine, between the engine and transmission, and I got to get a freeze plug put back in there. I probably have one sitting in my drawer. I got a bunch of freeze plugs in there. So that'll be a small job, but it'll be big because I got to pull that engine out of there, and I'm not sure exactly if I even can pull it out while leaving the transmission in there because of how I set it up originally. But we'll see. That'll all be recorded. I'll get videos of it all. I'm gonna get the 4-doiner back in here. But Frankenstein's first, and then the 4-doiner, and then I'll be back working on this car again. And I just want to make it solid. I don't want to kill myself, you know, out on the track. And I want to be able to make sure that this could do like drag and drive, like a drag week. That would be awesome. I would love to do something like that. Head out towards like Colorado on one of their 1,000-mile drag and drives. That would be incredible. But I have to get a better cooling system on it and stuff like that, and be able to pass tech, and it has to survive a ride at that long of a drive. That's where I'd like to get it registered, insured, and drive it, you know, around town, back to town and back a few times out on the highway, you know, make sure that it's solid for regular driving. And then at that point, you know, I'll feel better about taking it to the track. I still want to reinforce the rear end a little bit better. It seemed fine when I just took it for the drive, but all the hopping crap was kind of scary. I'm not sure why it was hopping like that. I know it's something in the suspension because the front end was going like this. So it may just be the fact that they're towed in too far towards each other. You know, I'm not a professional when it comes to alignment, but I'll do my best. And that's all I got for you guys for right now. I'll go ahead and get this video uploaded for you so you know what I've been doing. And yeah, it's been a real busy couple of weeks, I tell you. I've been working on all kinds of vehicles. I still have an S10 to finish changing the head gasket on. I got a F350 diesel that I'm trying to get running that has a fueling problem. It's been all kinds of issues and things going on, and had to change the serpentine belt and the what is it called, the tensioner and the alternator on my Jeep to get it back running right. And it ended up being all 3 of those things it needed. But it's fixed now, at least as much as the Jeep can be fixed. Sorry, no offense, you know, Jeep just empty every pocket. Yeah, they're really nice vehicles, don't get me wrong, I love Jeeps, but they're expensive. And the problem is my daughter loves Jeeps. So she doesn't really want to get rid of it unless she got something like a F-250. That's the only other thing that she would like, a 4-door F-250. But that's what she wants, really. So I guess we'll see. All right, y'all, have a good one. I'm out of here.